And then we had this meeting in '86, and then a lot of people got together and talked to a number of environmental groups. Like the American Farmland Trust, that was very instrumental in getting the conservation part in the '85 Farm Bill. Some consumer groups, a number of conservation groups like Soil Conservation Society and the National Association of Conservation Districts. A number of those saw there was a need to do some research in this area that just didn't have. And really, probably in all honesty, the biggest reason why this came along came directly from some innovative farmers out there.
I was going to say.
Really, in all honesty, these other groups were involved, but they were getting their kind of their push, quite frankly, from the farmers. And like I say, Dick Thompson was some of those leaders. Dale Ackerland from...
I'm sorry, what name?
Ackerland.
I know Thompson's name, but...
Yeah, and but there was a number of them out there across the country that say, hey, Fred Kirschman from North Dakota, just a fair number of these folks, and they were saying, and they were calling into the department and saying that we need some alternatives to the chemicals we're using. We just don't like some of the effects, and quite frankly, can't afford them. And so we would tell them to go to their extension agent and get some information. They would tell us that, well, we did, but really all they would tell us is that you're either using the wrong herbicide, the wrong pesticide, or the wrong fertilizer. I mean, and that was basically the extent of their tools. Now, this is kind of strange because, really, in all honesty, back up until about the mid-'50s, we farmed without a whole lot of chemicals coming from off the farm. But we, quite frankly, have become very dependent on them the last 40 years. And so that information was out there, but we found it more convenient to use tools that we became dependent on. But there were some farmers saying, hey, there's some side effects to this I don't like. And I don't like it from a health standpoint. I don't like it from the effects of sun on the soil. I don't like it from the standpoint of it's affecting the balance in the soil, of the worms I used to have there, and the microbes, and all the things that would do that. I'm concerned about a number of things that are just not good, and some of the people that were buying food were saying, hey, we don't like to have a residue in our food. And so there was a fair amount of rumbling going on out there.
And the rumbling was heard.
And the rumbling was heard. And so eventually it resulted in a number of groups getting together, and they went to Congress and got funding in '88 for the LISA program.